Okay, it's 4:30, and I'm calling the Finance Committee together here Wednesday, September 4th, 4:30. Let the roll call show that all members are present. We have a quorum. On to the second item, consent agenda, 2A and B, approval of the minutes for August 7th, 2024 regular meeting, and recommend approval of the bills and transfer in the amount of $657,326.64. I'd entertain a motion. Motion by Rosamond Mendoza, seconded by Vice Chair Lehman. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Consent agenda is passed. Item 3, are there any members of the public to speak before us?
Chair, we've had no requests this evening.
Thank you very much. On to departmental matters. Item 4A1, our county treasurer, Becky McNeil, is here. She brings 4 action items. Her first action item is 4A1, accept and place on file the county treasurer's monthly financial report, and I would entertain a motion. Motion by Rogel, seconded by Solner. Ms. McNeil, you have the floor.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Our financials this month are being reported through the end of August, and then also at the end of July for the nursing home. But getting in first to the treasurer's report, the summary of tax revenue. Through the month of August, we have a total of $11,333,081 compared to $12,630,551. The difference is $1,297,000. We knew that 2024 was going to be less than 2023. One of the driving factors for that reduction has been the PPRT. If you look up on the monthly comparison, you can see that for August of 2024, we have receipts of $1,152,000 compared to $1,179,000. So just in the month of August, we have a difference, a change of $26,780. Overall, our annual budget is $16,674,246. Right now, we would like to be at around $11,614,000 in revenue. We're at $11,333,000, so we're about $281,000 under budget. But again, the budget was reduced to reflect the expected reduction in those tax sources from the state of Illinois. Moving on to the shared sales tax revenue. For the month of August, of May receipts from Town of Normal, we received $188,000. City Bloomington, $269,000. So that was $457,000 compared to $450,000 last year. We are slightly above 2023 right now, with total revenue recorded of $3,432,073. And that fund equity in Fund 007 is $18,878,000. Property tax revenue, yesterday was the second installment due date, and we have now issued 4 distributions to our taxing districts. For the county, we are collecting $46,125,000. As of last week, we had distributed $30,514,000, and probably will issue another distribution tomorrow, and then wrap up with tax sale the 1st of November. So we're in the home stretch now that second installment is behind us. We still have a lot of work related to second installment. A lot of people don't realize all of the different avenues that we have for payments to come into the office, whether it be through lockbox or paying at a local bank or credit card or ACH. all of that, we have thousands and thousands of transactions that are in the process of settling right now, this week and next week. So we're still very, very, very busy and will be for probably the next 2 weeks sorting through all of that. Then we move on into the motor fuel tax. The regular county motor fuel tax, total collected, $1,367,000. That renewal fund, wow, you can see that our distributions from the renewal fund almost match our actual regular county motor fuel tax. The renewal fund brought us $1,331,000, total $2,699,000. And then the township motor fuel, the regular township motor fuel distributions, $1,129,000. And then the renewal fund added another $1,097,000 for a total of $2,226,000. So that's a summary of the tax revenue to the county. The next report is the county treasurer's cash and investment report. And I put some really tiny, they look like dots on my actual report, but off to the right, you'll see where we had some investments that were purchased during the month of August. When we're looking at treasuries right now, short term, we're still over 5%. If we go out anywhere 6, 9, 12 months, we start seeing that reduction that they anticipate the Fed will be making. So some of those rates where we go out into next year, into 2025, we're seeing 4.8%, 4.75%, but short term is still well over 5%. Money market with the state of Illinois is at 5.37%. So, I mean, we're in a very good position as far as our interest earnings go. Any questions on this report? I will point out one thing. Chase Bank on page 1. That Chase Bank there, that's the primary account that we run all of our AP out of. That was sitting at $8.5 million on 8/31 because that's the same day the county's distribution hit. So that's just the reason why it looks like it's got $8 million in it, because that's the account that gets the tax distribution. Those funds then get pushed out over to the money market. So just want to let you know why that is sitting there. Any questions on this report? In total, at the end of August, there was $132,002,742 in cash and investments. The next report is the nursing home report, and these are some financial numbers through the end of July. Again, for the nursing home, we back it up a month. Instead of reporting for August, we report for July, because that gives the nursing home time to get their revenue reported to us. It takes a little longer. For the month of July, their primary sources of revenue are their Medicaid, their private pay, and their Medicare. The month of July totaled $978,000, and that is also after their contractual adjustments are posted. So when you look at the month of July and you look back through 2024, the nursing home had an incredible month, very good. The overall recorded year-to-date revenue through July, $6,521,288. Year-to-date accumulated expenses and transfers, $6,554,000. So at the end of July, the nursing home's expenses were exceeding revenue by $33,534. The receivable balance at the end of July, the nursing home was carrying a receivable of $4,905,000. Cash and investments at the end of July, the nursing home was carrying cash of negative $1,367,930. And then at the end of July, the nursing home had a fund equity of $1,130,022. And then the next report is the Blue Cross Blue Shield comparison, this is, the county is self-insured for its health insurance, and the plan that the county has is Blue Cross Blue Shield. This report shows you our 2024 expenses through August. This is total cost. Obviously, when it comes to funding it, a part of this is covered by employee contributions, part of it is covered by employer contributions. But through the end of August, the county's expenses totaled $4,833,015. Our claims activity is up over 2023 by 402,000 as of the end of August. The one thing that we keep an eye on here, and I like to point out to you, is the stop loss adjustment. That's column 8. Column 6, 7, and 8 all kind of work together there. 6 and 7 is where we pay a monthly fee to prevent or to insure ourselves basically against loss. And you can see that we have paid a little over, probably about $920,000. The actual adjustment has been $1,157,000. So clearly, we would have had a larger loss than if we had not had the stop loss in place. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. McNeil. Hearing no questions, action item 4A, 1A, accept and place on file the county treasurer's monthly financial report. All those signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Very good, that action item passes. If it would be okay with committee, I would like to combine 4A, 1B, C, and D. Any objection? Hearing none. 4A, 1B, request approval of a resolution authorizing the cancellation of MH Tax Sale Certificate 2021-932, parcel MB 000187A. Item C, request approval of a resolution authorizing the cancellation of MH Tax Sale Certificate 2021-970, parcel SC 000085. And lastly, item D, request approval of a resolution authorizing the cancellation of MH Tax Sale Certificate 2021-975, parcel SG-00-0209. And I'd entertain a motion. Motion by Roseman Mendoza, seconded by Rogal. Floor is yours, Ms. McNeil.
Thank you. You've seen several of these over the years. These are 3 mobile home parcels that went through the tax sale process, went all the way to the point where the trustee was able to acquire an order for title from the court, but the property owners stepped forward and redeemed, basically paid what was due. So this is a good thing. It approval will eliminate the county's interest, allow these individuals to keep their mobile homes, and then return the property to the active tax rolls.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Action item passes. Item number 2, information. Mrs. McNeil, do you have anything? Or entertain some questions?
Yes, go ahead.
Last month we had the auditor's report, the independent auditor's report, and there was some discussion on that. I was confused a little bit about the back and forth conversations. Could you follow up with a little better explanation and
Yes.
educate us a little better?
Yes, I actually
That's
appreciate the opportunity. So during the audit presentation for fiscal year 2023, it was brought to your attention that the county had a significant deficiency. And it was related to an invoice that did not include the auditor's stamp and initials. The thing that I want to clarify, and to me, it's incredibly important that this be clarified, and that is that the department did not try to circumvent the process. During the recording of last month's session, I had heard the auditor say that this had nothing to do with her office. This particular invoice that lacked the stamp of approval, it was approved by the department. It was sent to the auditor's office along with 9 other invoices. They were all marked as received, and they were reviewed. Certain checkpoints were marked off by the auditor staff member, and of the 10 invoices, 9 of them were stamped approved. 1 of them was misstamped or not stamped. It had another received stamp on it. But in any event, all 10 of them were then delivered to my office for payment. And my staff, they paid all 10 invoices on the same check, okay? My staff, they should have noticed that that one invoice did not have that stamp, that rubber stamp of approval on it, and they didn't. But I wanted to clarify that there are internal controls. There is a process in place. No one tried to circumvent the process of the department reviewing the invoice for accuracy, approving it, sending it to the auditor's office, the auditor reviewing it, approving it, and then transferring it to our office to be processed for payment. It was very important to me that you understand that we did not receive this invoice directly from the department. So if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to talk with you. You can always reach out to me if you would like to. But I think that that should be clarified, that, again, no one tried to circumvent the process in place. So.
Thank you for that. Any other questions for Ms. McNeil?
So I do have more to add in regards to
Keep,
that.
there you go.
So,
The floor's still
well,
yours.
I just want to, I want to kind of give you a little snapshot into what happens throughout a fiscal year. I have 2 staff that process all of the invoices for payment. And during 2023, they processed over 22,000 invoices and issued payments of $138 million. And they take a lot of pride in what they do. They're not perfect because what we have is this human element. We have a process that's very archaic and very old, a lot of shuffling of paper through inter-office mail. And during the month of September, when the budget is presented, and during 2025, you're going to have an opportunity to pivot the county in a new direction, if you don't mind. You're going to have an opportunity to see McLean County pivot in a new direction with a new ERP system. This is a project that the Treasurer's Office and County Administration and IT, we've been working on for almost a year now. And I'm not going to go into any more details. That will be shared in depth with you through Craig Nelson and his work. But again, a lot of the day-to-day operation financially is going to change significantly. This business of pushing paper and stamping approvals and signing, it's going to happen electronically. And we're really excited about that. It is going to be an opportunity for improvement. We're going to have the ability to facilitate better communication and collaboration and cooperation electronically. We're going to be able to see where things are moving, where things are stopping. When additional information is needed, that type of communication can happen electronically. So I am taking the opportunity to talk about this and encourage you to support that because it is really going to be a very pivotal moment for us. So anyway, and it'll be a huge improvement in the process that we have now, which will eliminate this type of stuff from happening. So anything else?
Yeah, any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. Thank you for your report. We'll move on to item 4B, Marshall Thompson, who is not here. She doesn't bring any action items, but I hand it over to County Administrator for her monthly report or not. The floor is yours, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you, Chair Friedrich. So you have her monthly report on pages 9 through 20. If you have any specific questions, I'd be happy to try to answer or forward those to Marshall.
Okay, hearing none. On to the next item, 4C, Michelle Anderson, County Auditor. She does not bring any action items, and I again hand it to Administrator Taylor for any information. Floor is yours, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you again, Chair. Ms. Anderson is not here this evening. She does have a quarterly report indicated on page 21. If you have any questions, same answer. I'd be happy to try to answer, or we'll forward those questions to the auditor.
Seeing no questions, we'll move on to 4D. We do have our county clerk here, Kathy Michaels. She brings one action item before committee, and that is 4D1A, request approval of a voter's registration state grant from the Illinois Board of Elections. Is there a motion? There's a motion by Member Rogel and seconded by Vice Chair Lehman. Ms. Michael, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. This is a grant we usually get each election cycle, and this is a procedural process that we need the county board's approval for the $133,000. So we do hope we get it, and it defines very much what we have to spend it on. And that's it, if you have any questions. The good thing is well, there's a lot of good things about it, but let's say we spend the entire $133,000, and a lot of the other counties don't spend what they're allocated. If there's extra money, and let's say we have gone over a little bit in other counties, they'll divide that extra money that isn't spent by the other counties to us, so it doesn't go back into their big fund, which is nice. And it often happens to a lot of our counties. We go, oh, good, we get to add another 20,000 or so to it if it's available. So it's a nice grant.
Thank you, Ms. Michaels. But there's been a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay, action item passes. Item 4D2. Anything else to report, Ms. Michaels?
Only one thing, and self-bragging stinks, as my grandma always used to say, but we'll brag a little bit, and hopefully we don't jinx it. This is the first time ever in my 14 years as clerk that we have more election judges signed up than we need. I know, it's never happened. And that just is exciting to us because of all the things that you hear about the fear of elections and things like that. Well, it's not happening here in McLean County. And our outreach to the veterans, military veterans, has been amazing. And we're just really proud.
That's great, great news. great news, and I'm thankful for that, for those that volunteered for this. Very good. On to the next item, 4E. We have Timothy Jorzak, Supervisor of Assessment. He brings no action items, but he is here for any questions from committee. Or the floor is yours, Mr. Jorzak.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Just again, wanted to make myself available to you if you have any questions or concerns. Did want to update you on a couple things really briefly. We have 27 townships published, and in the complaint process, we have an additional 4 that are still out there. 3 of those 4 are complete. We're just waiting for the final township to come in. It's the 4 townships. It's City of Bloomington, and then the 4 townships kind of immediately around it. We're going to publish those all at once so folks don't get confused. But we're waiting on City of Bloomington's books to come in before we do that. But other than that, we've got 27 published and out. We are once again doing our public information outreach sessions. We had one 2 weeks ago in Stanford. We actually held it twice because we wanted folks to have the opportunity to come. Then we have 4 additional meetings planned. September 5th in Leroy, which is tomorrow, September 9th in Lexington, September 17th in Normal. All of those are at 6 p.m. And if you look on the county's website, you can see where those locations are. And we do have an additional one that just kind of got a late addition at the request of the township. We're doing one in Gridley, and that's going to be next Tuesday at 7 p.m., September 10th. So if you want to come out and hear what those of us in the property tax offices has to say, if you want to encourage your constituents to come out, kind of learn what we're doing, get a feel for where we are, please do. Please don't hesitate to send this information out. We love having the opportunity to talk to folks, explain what's going on, explain all the different ways that we're trying to make this process move a little bit easier.
We have a question, Vice Chair Lehman.
Thank you very much. So, Mr. Jorzak, you mentioned that we're still waiting on the information from the City of Bloomington and surrounding areas. With the outreach sessions that you mentioned, already had one, you got 3 on the way. Are you anticipating having an additional one once you get the City of Bloomington information in? And do you have a tentative timeline for that if it is going to take place?
Well, the thing about that is we don't know when we're going to get the city's books. Last year, we didn't get their books and didn't get them published until the week of Halloween. And so that meant we were into November before we had any opportunity to try to do anything. I'm hoping we get them sooner. It remains to be seen what those are going to be. I'm in contact with them to find out, to kind of keep them on track. But that's kind of where we are with it right now.
So knowing that there was a delay in getting it last year, and then, it just delays information for the residents to be able to find out. And certainly, hope is not a strategy. Is there anything that we can do to support the process or support you and your office to make sure that folks are able to get that information and ask the questions as they need?
Well, I am certainly happy to hold a session in Bloomington when that time comes available, when that information comes out. In the meantime, I would suggest to folks, look, if I'm going to be completely frank, their assessment is going to go up between either what I do from my office or what the township does. Their assessment is going to increase this year. If they want to come learn about it, I would suggest that they come to one of the sessions that we already have. The one we have in Normal is at One Normal Plaza at the Community Activity Center there in One Normal Plaza by the old Mulberry School. That would be a great opportunity for folks from all over the Twin Cities to come and do that. Other than that, just kind of keep an eye out.
Thank you so very much. Appreciate what you and your office do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jorzak. And
Mr. Chairman, can I add something with?
Oh, yes.
So Tim, he graciously sets all of these up, and then he goes to the location, and he puts up the projector, and he puts up the screen, and he gets everything all organized and ready to go. And then I walk in about 5 minutes before it starts, and Kathy attends some of them as well. And but this is an incredible opportunity, and we've been doing this for how long? Yeah. This year during the Illinois Association of County Officials, during our spring conference, the offices of the Supervisor of Assessments and County Treasurers, we pulled back the wall and we came together in a big room meeting, talking about this type of collaboration and communication to the public. You know, my office, we send out the tax bill, but we have thousands of parcels where we report it to an escrow servicing company. So the taxpayer has elected to have their tax bill go to their mortgage company, to their escrow servicing company. So this is a great opportunity for us to go out and talk about not only the process, but we also talk about the different exemptions that are available. And just, it's all about educating the public. And it's truly an honor to be able to do that. We enjoy it. We get along pretty well. We have fun with it in a kind of weird way, but we do. We have a good time, and but most importantly, just public education, creating some understanding of the tax process, what's happening, where the funds are going, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a true honor, and I just wanted to publicly thank Mr. Jorzak for all of his efforts in organizing it and making us look good when we walk in. Yes.
Yes. I'm going to echo that same sentiment. I've been to Mr. Jorzak's presentation, and I'm reaching out to the citizens of McLean County. Educate yourself, how the taxes are, how this big ship works. Tim does an excellent job of explaining it very basically and what all is involved, because it is complicated, but he makes it less complicated, and it's very interesting. Some of the other county board members, we've gone to Lexington, and it's very interesting, and it's you learn a lot. You learn a lot. So kudos, and grateful for what you do. Okay, we're going to move on to the next item. Thank you, Mr. Jorzak. That is 4F, Cassie Taylor, County Administrator. She brings no action items, but I'm going to hand the floor over to you, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you, Chair. I do have one item to be presented for information, and that is a follow-up on an action item that the board approved earlier in the year for, I'm starting to think it was maybe last year, for the refunding of the bonds. So if you'll remember, we took action as a board to refinance, or it's called a refunding of bonds for the Law and Justice Center expansion. And I would like to acknowledge Rebecca McNeil and Kathy Dreyer for assisting with the presentation that we made to Moody's that resulted in us maintaining our bond rating, which is very strong. And because of that, we were able to realize, it closes tomorrow, so the refunding is actually tomorrow morning, but we were able to realize a net benefit savings for the county of $2,367,880. So that will translate into a cash flow savings each year for the next 10 years of $254,784. So it was a worthwhile process. I thank this committee for recommending that to the full board, and it was successful.
Any questions for Ms. Taylor? Okay, that is really significant. And I appreciate your staff on doing that hard work and renegotiating our rating to Moody's. What we were given a rating of, what was it prior to? B?
No, we were AA1, and we have maintained that. So the only higher rating would be a AAA.
Oh, but I thought they were going to drop it, or were they?
Well, they might have been thinking about it, but they did not.
Okay, okay.
I
Correct.
would, I would say, take note of what happened to the town of Normal and the city of Bloomington's rate. So, and
Really?
it was significant that we were able to maintain ours. We fought hard,
Yes.
so.
So, and that is significant. Also, it's budget month coming up. And I know your staff has been working very diligently on bringing a budget to county. And I'm eagerly anticipating it. It's been a lot of work, months and months of work. So I'm grateful for that. You're nearing the finish line.
We are very near the finish line for that, and I look forward to presenting it at the full board, but also to the committee presentations that we'll have in October.
Very good. Okay, kudos to county administration. And I know that's their job, but they work very hard. They work very hard. Any other business? We're on to item 5. Okay, hearing none. Our next meeting is Wednesday, October 9th, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.